Welcome to Life is for Living. I'm your host, Kylee Buckley, and I'm here with David J Riddell from the School of Living Wisdom. David, before we talk about sleeplessness, which we're going to discuss tonight, can you just talk a little bit about your school up in Nelson and a little bit about what you've been doing?
Well, after a lifetime of counselling troubled people struggling with difficulties of life, who knew it would be this hard? I began to think that if I had a 2-week course set up for people, so many of the struggles could be alleviated immediately and avoided altogether. So I began to put together the best of psychology, the best of wisdom, the best of life skills, the best of Christian faith. And I came up with a blend of theology, psychology, and philosophy that guaranteed success for anybody who practiced it, whether it be success in marriage or relationships or business, whether it be success in emotions, mental and emotional health, or just life in general. And so I put together a curriculum that would take me 10 days to get through and would challenge people to their roots about the conceptions, perceptions, beliefs, and assumptions that were governing their lives and creating their failures, their trouble spots, their addictions, their bad habits, or maybe just shutting them out of faith or success of any sort. And so what we're going to do tonight is just share another one of the chapters from the school manual. But I live in Nelson, which is central to New Zealand, and we have Christchurch as an international airport. So students come in from all over the world and all over the country to spend these 10 or 12 days with us here, just doing a boot camp for success in mental health. And it really is a boot camp. We go from 9 till 3, Monday to Friday, plus a little bit of homework. And it enables people to search themselves, their lives, their childhood, and get to grips with whatever's been steering them wrong and putting them crook in regard to their character, their personality, and their ventures in life. There are modules there on motivation, modules on religion and toxic religion. There's modules there on relationship skills and marital skills and various other goodies. And we find that a wide variety of people do it, not just counsellors, but nurses, teachers, people who are addicts, people who are still on a benefit because they're not functioning properly yet. And it's quite amazing to see how they all grab something from it that can change their lives. And we have designed it to be a life-changing experience, Kylee, and I think you can say something about that yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it has been. It's amazing. You think things and taught things that you've never thought about before. And they're important things that we should be considering. Yeah.
We go straight into the subconscious and start looking at those assumptions that were laid down before you were 10 years old and set you up for sexual addiction, for misorientation, for bad habits and addictions. To show you where you went wrong and to show you how to get out of that loop that your brain has dropped you into. After all, Kylee, when your mind turns against you and becomes your enemy, where are you going to go to escape it?
Mm.
Jesus said, go to the truth. And that's what we find when people substitute truth for medications and for addictions and for quick fixes. They always come free, and sometimes amazingly quickly.
Mm. Excellent. How amazing. So, guys, if there is anything going on in your life that you need help with, David, when's your next 2-week course coming up?
We run them 4 times a year in Nelson, and there'll be one in winter, a winter school, and another one in the spring. Just check www.livingwisdom.co.nz and you'll see it's all laid out there on the website.
Wonderful. And you're also available for counselling, you're a psychotherapist online.
Yes, a lot of my clients are on Zoom or Skype or just over the phone, and they come in from all over the world, and a lot of them turn up here after getting a taste of living wisdom to do the whole course, and that works well because it means that we can pick it up really quickly since they've already had some background in personal counselling.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Well, let's get on now with our topic for tonight, which is sleeplessness and the circadian rhythms and the importance of it.
Yes, well, the sleep cycle, which is also known as a circadian rhythm, spelt with two C's, interrupted by time zone travel sometimes, those wide-awake long-haul flights, or the rotating shifts and rolling shifts of some shift workers, can take some real time and effort to readjust back to a normal and regular pattern. And as a counsellor, I'm totally against rolling shifts. Not shift work per se, but the rolling shifts that keep vandalizing and disturbing your circadian rhythms. They are circadian rhythm terrorists, those rolling shifts, I can tell you. And everything in the body depends on the circadian rhythms: when to wake up, when to go to sleep, the hormonal cycles, the intellectual cycles. These are all reliant on circadian rhythms. So we must look after them. And without time to cooperate with the biochemical urgings of sleep when they come, a hazardous physical and neurological condition can ensure that goes way beyond mere jet lag. Digestive cycles, heart loadings, manual dexterity, dizziness, and lowered immunity can all result from what is literally a self-inflicted form of abuse, but rarely recognized as such. So I do encourage my clients to schedule a night's stopover for a hotel sleep when planning those really long haul flights. If I'm flying over to the UK, for example, I always get an overnight stopover in Singapore or the Middle East, and it just makes it way more bearable. But I have to say that actually the flights coming back are the ones that really do the damage because they're coming against the sun. So make them as near as possible to your anticipated sleep times. Even 4 or 6 hours good sleep makes a huge difference in your rate of recovery. And I always schedule at least 2 days off when I get back to enable those extra sleep sessions on demand as I need them, rather than being under the pump as soon as I hit the ground and running off for the sake of the extra dollar. I've already mentioned rolling shifts. I think your body will love you forever if you do not take on jobs that require rotating shifts open-endedly. Even 3 months of rolling shifts are enough to permanently upset your circadian rhythms for some people, depending on your age, and it results in emotional and physical instability of various sorts. There can be quite an escalation of problems: anxiety, depression, lethargy, even high blood pressure, arrhythmia, and lowered immunity often result in older people who are not being kind to their circadian rhythms. And I do resist the temptation to go to bed through the day or read through the night in order to encourage your neurochemistry to make the adjustment, rather than sending it mixed messages about what time it is. It's already confused enough. And if you simply have to give in and get up or go to bed out of all order, do keep it to an absolute minimum so you don't end up working against your goal by indulging your circadian confusions. I like to talk about the sleep train too. I believe that the sleep train pulls out of the station in my own case, about every 20 minutes. And every time that sleep train goes to pull out of the station, If I pop the light on, if I start another conversation, if I go and busy myself with something, then I've got to wait another 20 minutes or another half an hour before I can drop off again. I would also consider a problem the mind that has been traumatized. The brain can actually forget how to switch off the alarm bells and let go of anxiety and control in order just to sleep. The brain cannot sleep if it's frightened or if there is anxiety or anticipation. And adding to that anxiety now is the fear of what will happen if you don't get that sleep. Now we have two threats assailing a frightened mind from both sides. What's already happened and what will happen if I don't get some sleep. We know that you have baby brain or confusion the day following the night without sleep, don't we? But what about the second day? Now the psychosis begins. And by the third day, we're really in trouble, psychiatric trouble of very severe kind. If you add to that the original echoes of early trauma that set up the bad habit of strategizing after you've put the light out, then we have a nasty loop develop that the brain can become powerless to stop. So Kylee, I've made a little rule for myself. When it's time to put the light out, put the light out. Don't keep reading. Don't force yourself to keep practicing. When it's time to put it out, just put it out. And then when you put it out, don't use those quiet hours for strategizing. You're sending the brain mixed messages. You're saying, you need to go to sleep, you have to go to sleep, you better go to sleep. On the other hand, I can plan tomorrow and I can plan what I'm going to say to that person if they ever talk to me like that again. And I'm going to wish what I could have said and didn't say and should have said the last time I had this conversation. And it's all putting pressure on your brain to wake up and go to war. So now it doesn't know what to do. And the result is you lie there tossing and turning. And that reaching for the quick fix, that pill, that medication, that sleeping pill, that drowsy pill, well, you don't want to do that because your brain then forgets how to switch off because it's relying on a pill to knock it out. Now you're on a slippery slope, and I want to keep everybody off that slope. Medication-reliant sleep is bad news. You've already gone too far down the slippery slope. We need to get you back, and we need to do it soon.
So what are some tips then if you are struggling to get to sleep, especially if it's been like there's a family member of mine that's been like this actually for years, struggling to get to sleep?
Well, the first thing is to surface your anxiety and address it. What is the fear that is stalking you? The brain cannot switch off if it doesn't feel safe. And if it's waiting for a repeat of that burglary or break-in, if it's waiting for that loud hammering on the door by somebody intoxicated or on drugs, if it's expecting something to go bump during the night, it doesn't switch off easily. It doesn't want to switch off. It wants to retain alert. And even if you do sleep, it'll be shallow. Even if you do sleep, you'll be a shallow sleeper because you never really feel safe. You need to be able to trust to let go, and you need to be able to let go to sleep. So you trust the door locks, and you trust you're in a safe neighborhood, and you trust that nothing can happen to you while you're asleep. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that can interfere with that. The neighborhood, the people that are under your same roof as you, the memories of another time in another place. We have to surface the thing that's stalking you, and we have to render it harmless before you can really believe that you are safe to drop all of your defenses and just let go.
Okay. Um, so are you saying after 2 or 3 nights of not sleeping, your brain, or not sleeping a lot, with difficult sleeps, your brain actually, you're going downhill, like your brain cannot um, rectify it easily.
Yes, within 2 days of no sleep, you're struggling to differentiate between reality and illusion, between reality and what your emotions are telling you. And by the third day, you're probably psychotic.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting back from that, if somebody's like that,
Well, the first thing is sleep is a great healer. We've got to get them into a safe space where they can lock the door, turn the light out, listen to their favorite music, and just nod off.
mm,
Nobody's going to be hammering on the door. The phone isn't going to go. The child isn't going to scream. Somebody's not pounding. There's nobody looking for money. You've got to put everything on hold to allow yourself to rest.
yeah,
And the brain doesn't rest if it's frightened, if it's anticipating something, or if it's anxious. And one of the things that I've done is I've made a deal with myself: when the light goes out, all strategizing is out of
mhm,
bounds.
mm. One thing I find to help me get to sleep, especially during the winter months, is a hot bath and put some
Great tip,
candles in
marvelous tip. And don't let yourself go to sleep in the bath though, because then
it.
you'll have to wake yourself up to get back to bed. But you've already had a short sleep, so now you don't want to go to sleep. It's the same for people who nod off in front of the TV on the settee at night. They nod off in front of the TV, no problem at all. But when they go up to bed, they lie awake because they've already had their entree and they don't feel like the main course anymore. So I don't allow myself to nod off in the evening before I go to bed. If I'm nodding off in the evening, I should be in the damn bed, not just thinking about it. And and I think too that if you have some warm milk and the fumes of warm milk are a very good sleep invoking factor.
Nice,
I'm
nice.
one of the lucky ones. I can have a cup of decaf coffee at 11 o'clock and it doesn't interfere with my the speed at which I go to sleep at all. But I'm talking about decaf coffee now, not regular coffee.
Mm. I can actually have a regular, if I can't sleep, I get up and have a Makona regular coffee and it sends me to sleep. Oh, bizarre.
Is it, if it might be the milk in it, it might be the hot milk in it rather than the coffee that's doing that.
And I know another thing too is in your mind, have your favorite place. It might be a
Yeah,
holiday in Fiji or
yeah,
your childhood bedroom or house or somewhere.
yeah,
Go there in your mind and
yeah. I think that's great. Everyone should have a favourite place, and it shouldn't be a place plagued with flies or mosquitoes.
oh, funny.
One mosquito can make you miss a lot of sleep if it's in the same room.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Never think that you're too small to make a difference. Consider the mosquito in the room with you.
Yes, yes. But I mean, in your mind,
Hmm.
favorite place in your mind, you can go there in your mind.
Well, it's a proven fact that warm or hot milk gives off an enzyme that encourages the brain's own sleep-making chemistry.
Mm.
In the same way that a broadcasting voice that's monotonous or calm music can do it as well.
Yes,
I must admit, counting sheep does not work for me. What is more demanding of concentration than counting sheep? I don't know who made that one up.
yes, true. Yes. Or you listen to that monotonous voice. There's a couple of things there that I listen to sometimes.
I have sometimes gone off to sleep counting my own heartbeats.
Oh, right. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's beating. Yeah. Oh, well, some great tips there.
I hope so. I hope so. But nothing,
Enjoy.
there's nothing like a personal counselling session to really go after the fold in the sheets that is represented in your mind. If there's a fold in the sheets in your own mind, if there's a conscience issue or an old anxiety that's not resolving, get it seen to. It can give the brain so much more peace.
Yes, yes. And go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. Really
Yeah,
important.
that's really helpful, isn't it?
It is. All right. Thank you, David. Another awesome session.
Interesting, isn't it?
Good night.
Thank you.